we go. And let's see here. We're recording. Okay, perfect. Do you guys have questions on anything before I jump in? Is there anything that'd be helpful to have covered, or you guys like need some clarification on as we end this month at all? No. Okay, so announcements are pretty much the same as last week. Team Cup registration it ends in February or beginning of February. And if you're not on Team Cup, I would encourage you to be on one just because it really helps your business move forward. So if you are not plugged in and you want to be, connect with me or post on the team page. The other cool thing is when you register for Team Cup, you will get some promo codes for February. So that's a big plus right there, just to be able to use those promo codes and give them to potential customers. Things that are still on sale right now are the nutrition programs, Bar Blend, and the work. Trip points are doubled, and then that summit promo ticket, which is again $165, and that's a big, big, big one. So those are the big announcements for January. And then just want to shout out these awesome ladies hitting Success Club. I know Sasha is on here. It's her first time hitting it, I think. So congrats. There's people who are closing it in still. And I would really encourage you guys to, I know I personally don't love the title Success Club because I feel like it sounds like if you don't hit it, you're not a success. The competitive person in me does really love it, but truly, like, we come into this business to help people, and this is a representation every month of that consistency and helping people. And Ashley's not on this call, but I have to shout her out because she's in her 3rd trimester with baby number 3. Her kids have been sick this week. She has a toddler and a preschooler, and she just hit SC10. Like, she's leading our team. So it's really one of those things that when you make it a non-negotiable in your business, it truly kind of builds this leverage and this base of your clients. So when you hit Success Club for 3 months in a row, it's $800 when you have people re-enroll. So it truly is one of those things that keeps the doors open on your business. It makes you break even and come out a little bit ahead on your product. So just on like a financial basis, it's really one of those things that you want to shoot for. But there's so many other things connected to it. The Success Club trips, quarterly prizes, recognition if that fills your cup, and all sorts of other things. And so for me, when I signed up as a coach, my coach Melanie told me, she's like, Abby, never, if you're serious about this business, this is a priority number 1 for you every single month. And so I've made it that. And there have been some months where I've totally called in the Hail Mary and asked my dad to order beach bars, and I paid him back, or he actually loves them now, so he'll order them for me. If you've had a customer who hasn't ordered in 6 months, place an order. This counts. And as a reminder, it's not just challenge packs. So anything that totals 90 PV, so 90 personal volume points, that's on a home direct order. And I always have people do home direct because it saves them $10 in shipping. And so even if they don't want to keep ordering something, they can cancel it without penalty, but it's a no-brainer for them to order it that way. So anything, so that could be beach bars, the performance line, daily sunshine, Shakeology. Obviously challenge packs with new customers is usually the way most people get signed up. But it could be a combination of like Shakeology boosts and collagen and all sorts of stuff. And so again, this is truly like baseline for your business. And if you're sitting here on the 27th saying, well, I feel super discouraged now, I'm just looking because I have till Friday, friends, do not throw in the towel until the fat lady sings. Like, you have until Friday at midnight Eastern time. And so if you're not at Success Club and you want to be, that should be your whole priority this month, is getting there. And so I want to talk about that really, really quickly. So some things, and so I'm going to talk about planning for next month, but just to like think about this month, and anything that you do right now is also going to have a huge ripple effect on your February. So it's not just like, oh, I'm only focusing on ending January strong, but this is also going to start your February strong. So things that you can think about. Have you shared a transformation recently with your story behind it? Transformation Tuesday is tomorrow, so that's an awesome thing to do. Talk about that your February bootcamp is enrolling soon. Then, have you followed up with people who told you no in the past? Like people who have filled out a form or you've connected with and they've said it's not a right time. I sent out, and I will share this with you guys, I sent out this email, let me see here, to all of the people who filled out a form in the last year. I sent this and just said, hey, it's been a while since I touched base, wanted to check in and say hi. Why am I sharing? Because I know for me, having community accountability and fitness programs have been a saving grace in the busy and hard seasons. I break down exactly, again, what they can expect. And I said, I know you've been interested in the past in working with me, and I would love to help you reach your goals and find that same confidence and joy. And I give them the form to fill out. I share a cookie recipe just to add some value. I tell them what people in our current group are doing and why they love it. So actually following up with people who you have connected with in the past is super, super important. So my plan for the end of this week is I'm actually going to email this list of people every other day. Not every day is going to be this direct of a message, and I'll share this with you guys so you can copy it, but tomorrow or tonight I'm going to send them a recipe and just say like, hey, I know you were interested in jumping in, wanted to share this healthy recipe with you. I just shared it in my challenge group, or it's what I made for dinner. I don't know, I'll come up with something. I don't know what I'm going to send them yet, but just adding value. Then on Wednesday, I'm going to give them again, like, hey, my challenge group is going to be closing enrollment here in a week. I want to make sure you don't miss out. And it's one of those things where people have to hear the same message, guys, about 8 to 10 times before they start taking action. And if you think about how many emails that you get from businesses a day, like just sharing, like how many things do you just delete and not even pay attention to? And then sometimes you open it, and if you're annoyed with them, you unsubscribe or you delete it. Like, you are not coming into people's inboxes killing their families. Like, you have to get over the fear of talking to someone and sharing what you have to share. And so I really encourage you to follow up with challengers who've fallen off the wagon, people who've said no. Actually make those connections with people. The other things that you can do at the end of the month would be in your stories, or I try to avoid doing posts about it too much, but behind the scenes connecting with people and saying like, hey, I've got 3 spots left for January, and the next 3 people to sign up. I'm really excited because I have a fill in the blank. You could do a type of Energize. You could do samples of Energize. If you don't want to spend any money, you could do, hey, I'm going to send you out. We'll jump on a call and I'll do a free one-on-one like Zoom session with you on goal setting and meal planning and share results. Or I'm happy to help you guys with that and do a call with me. But like, think of what you can offer them as a freebie. The other thing that you can do, Julianne just shared this in our team page. You saw that. Let me just show you guys her post really quick. A few of you are nodding, so I think some of you guys saw it. But let me just see here. Pulling it up here. I will always ask people to, like, for favors. Again, if I know them really well. So this was the email that she sent. She'd already connected with them, so it wasn't this weird spammy thing. But like, hey, totally no pressure, but would you be willing to order by this Friday? This is a completely selfish request, but I know you mentioned you were interested, and I'm super close to hitting my business goal. People love to help. Truly, like, think about all the things that you would do for someone that you won't do for yourself. It's one of the reasons why coaches have the best transformations, because we will show up for people when they won't show up for us. So this is a prime example. People love to be a part of something. So especially if it's someone that I have connected with in the past, or is a good friend, or, just where I feel comfortable, I always ask them like, hey, it would help me out a ton, like zero pressure. I'll send you the share card. It literally takes you 30 seconds. Is there any way that you could order by Friday? And I always give myself a buffer. So I don't say Friday at midnight Eastern time. I would say like Friday afternoon. That way, if they don't fill it out in time, I have some buffer to be like, hey, Dad, I'm calling in a favor. Can you order some beach bars or something like that? So be strategic, but don't be afraid to ask for help and tell people that you're working on a big goal for your family and that it means a lot for you. And why Success Club in January matters, guys, is that it's going to launch your business for the rest of the year. It's going to be one of those things that truly sets the pace. It gives you a benchmark to go off of, and you guys, if you want to earn the Success Club trip next year, this doubles your points for it, which is huge. And so it gives you those like free rooms and excursions and all of that, which is really, really big. So that's another thing you can do. Those Hail Marys work. I always, in conversations with people, I give them the next step. And this is something, guys, I worked for 8 years in recruiting admissions, which is sales. I was selling a $40,000 a year university that I loved. And I'm good at it because one of the things that you learn is people, you are the expert, and you might not feel like that, but you are. You are 2 years, 2 days, 2 months ahead of where that person is. And so it's really important as you are having these conversations with people that you tell them what the expectation is and what the next step is. So I will show, and these are like all in our Google Docs. If you can't find them, definitely let me know. But I'll show you an example of an email. Hold on, I have to find it because I like sent a million of these the other night. So let me find it here really quick. But when I'm talking with people, I will always say, like, I'm following up with you on this day, or let me know by this day. So then it doesn't feel weird to follow up because I've already told them that I'm going to be. And it's clear expectation of when they're supposed to order or let me know by. So this girl had filled out a form. I'm giving her the info because she had asked about some info. She didn't get back to me, so I wanted to touch base with her. Guess what? My email went to her spam. So it's good I checked back because she didn't know. And so then she's like, okay, I'm glad I overlooked it. And then she asks me all sorts of questions. And so it's great. Like, I can tell her, here's all the info. Then I break down the value of every single thing that she's going to get. So I don't just say it's $160. I break down, like, here's all of your options. I've already tailored everything because we've had these conversations to what her goals are. So she knows that. It's never, it's a one-time cost. You get your money back if you don't like it. Here's all the things that you break down. And then I attach her with this, and I've shared this with you guys. I have shared with you guys the version that doesn't have my face in it. So you can, like, put it and make it pretty, make it your own. But this has been a great PDF to send to people. So it just has the info. I have it tailored to doing, like, bar or lift 4, because that's what program my people are doing right now. So you can change this up. But it has the workouts you're doing, what the meal plan's like, what you need. So just a brief FAQ sheet. It has the 3 options. I always give people multiple options because people like to choose. People like to have control of their choices, and they like to feel like they're getting a good deal. And so I was telling Megan this earlier today, but I'd say about 60 to 70% of people who end up signing up with me buy the deluxe pack because it's what I recommend. And I recommend it because I use Energize every day. It's a lifesaver. I share it in my stories. So it's not this weird thing that people are like, what is she putting in my cart? But also, then they realize, wow, it's actually not that much more. And I get all of this with it, and I'm not going to be sore. Or if they don't get that and they get the regular one, they feel like they got an amazing deal. They're like, I got the cheapest one, and they feel super happy about that. So it's kind of like that psychology. It's that mental in either way. And in this, I explain why the supplements are necessary. It's going to be key for handling your cravings or your energy and helping you not be sore. And I let them know that's just part of the deal. So I don't even give them the option of just doing on demand because I know that my clients are going to get the best results when they're doing the total process. Now, is there room for discussion? Will I add people without it? Yeah, and we can talk about that. But this is what I lead with every single time. So then I have that. We talk about nutrition. Because these are $20 off, it's like $35 right now for them to have one of these programs that they get access to for life. So I'm adding one of these into their cart, and they see the information on it here. And then I let them know next steps. I talk about, you're probably having all the butterflies. I know what it felt like. So what do you do now? And that is what I send them. So they get that broken down email. She didn't respond to me. So 3 days later, I followed up with her. Her husband was in a car accident. So I'm like, oh no, hopefully Monday. So then I'm checked in with her again. So sorry, hope your foot is doing better. I want to share this last week's meal plan I sent out to all my girls in case it relieves some stress for you guys. So again, I'm just serving here. It's something that was already created. It doesn't take me any extra time. I don't want her to feel like I'm just pouncing on her when her husband is in a car accident and all that stuff. And so that's kind of how I tailor my conversations. Now I'm going to follow up with her tomorrow because it's been 2 days. Just check in on her, not pressure her at all. But that is kind of how that process works. And so do you guys have questions on that at all? Any of it? No? Okay. I'd encourage you when you're going through these things, like, make it your own. I have all the emails. I have all these scripts saved with you guys. If you don't talk how I talk, make it your own for sure. But but don't be afraid to use these things as guides and just send it out, and don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel with people. The PDFs are already created. I can give you the editable access. You can make it your own, but you don't have to take the time coming up with stuff. Just tweak it if you don't talk like I do. But be bold in your follow-ups and connect with people. So again, if you're not at Success Club right now, that is going to be your goal, is to go invite everyone who's watching your stories this week. Share a transformation tomorrow. Scroll through your on-demand and say, like, film your computer, hold your phone up and film your laptop and be like, I love that I get all these, whoa, turn on the flashlight. I love that I get all these options. There's PIO, there's yoga, there's prenatal stuff, like all this stuff. I'm showing my meal plans. I'm talking about the value. I'm screenshotting our bar blend group because it's off the hook right now. And you guys can do it too. I'm crossing off people's names to respect their privacy, but I'm sharing the results along the way, the non-scale gift victories, the actual weight loss victories, so people can see, wow, this is amazing. Like, people are getting results. There's community. This is fun. And so sharing all that in my stories and then inviting those people who are watching my stories. And I would say something like, hey, Kyla, hope your weekend was awesome. I thank you so much for always following along. I don't know if you're interested, but I'm getting the next group of gals set up for, my bar group, and I have loved the results I've seen so far. I'm down 5 pounds, or, you fill in whatever you're doing. Would you want some more info on it by any chance? Super cash. Again, if they're creeping on your stories, it's like they walked into your store, and it is your obligation to greet people. They walked into your storefront, so why wouldn't you say hello? And if it's someone you've never talked to before in your life and you feel uncomfortable with that, thank them for following you and ask them, why they are following you and what they want to see more of or something like that. So those are things that are for this week. Like, we are all about the non-spammy cold invites. We are all about tailoring our messages to our ideal client and like those soft things like polls and responding to those things. But in this last part of the month, if you're not at your goals, you can be bold if you've been sharing value a lot to actually go ahead and hammer it home and making sure your posts, again, are not overly spammy, but are sharing like your results, your excitement, all of those things. So that is this month. Before I jump into talking about planning for a rocking February, do you guys have any questions on ending this month? Do you need any help with anything, conversations, ideas, like anything at all? If not, I know, Sasha, you locked in Success Club, so we've chatted about that. Anyone else need help with anything? No. Katie, did you say something, or no, you're talking to someone else? Okay. Okay, so if you need help, guys, first of all, hi, that is what I'm here for. So please, like, bug me. Post in the team page, like, we are here to help each other. We are here to lift each other up. So if you need ideas on invites, if you need ideas on posts, like if you want someone to approve a post before you share it, like, use this team, lean on this team. You do not have to do this alone. And if you're like, my goal is SC5 by Friday, I'm going for it, I'm sitting at 0 right now, post that in the team page. And then when you get, like, let's cheer each other on through it, like, that's a part of it. One thing I wanted to share too is on Instagram, if you go into, and this saves me a lot of time when I'm sending invites, if you go into like a conversation with someone, I don't know if you guys can know this, but at the bottom, there's those 3 dots right there. If you click on those 3 dots, it brings up quick replies. And I can't really show you very well on my screen, but basically you can copy and paste a text in and then send that really fast. And I just make sure I change their name so it's not awkward, because I've done that before, and that's like the worst feeling in the world to be like, hey, Sasha, and it's Kyla. I'm like, ugh. But that can save you a lot of time. So if you have an invite like, thank you for watching my stories, blah, 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 that's a really good one that just can save you time if you're sitting on the couch watching The Office after your kids go to bed like me, and you're just going out and I'm going to send 50 invites really quick. This is one that I'm sending right now. And I can share this with you guys afterwards. It just says, hey, Heather, I'm getting a few more ladies ready to start our virtual 4-week boot camp. Wanted to see if you might want to snag a spot. Totally no pressure, obviously, heart emoji. This one's going to be extra fun because we're focusing on spending 30 minutes a day on ourselves in this crazy busy season, focusing on overall health, happiness, workouts, nutrition, self-love, and confidence, mindset, and creating lifelong habits and community. Want some more info on it? Simple. It's not mean. It's nice. I wouldn't be offended if someone sent me that. I'd either just ignore it or say no thank you if I really didn't want to. So again, those are kind of the kind of thing that I'd encourage you to be sending. So now that I talked your ear off, let's talk about February. Okay, so February, one thing that you always need to do as a business owner is, and I'm going to work on my calendar tonight and I'm going to share it in the team page, but before I created it, I wanted to walk you guys through where my head is at so you can start taking ownership of this, because you are a business owner. And part of being a business owner, even though I totally fly by the seat of my pants in a lot of ways, is thinking strategically ahead. So the last week of the month, I always start thinking about what the next month is going to be. What is coming up for our family? What is like going on around the, our country, or like vacations, holidays, things like that, just to be aware of, because then that helps me tailor my marketing. It helps me tailor my message. The first thing that you want to think about is you are going to need about 2 weeks before your challenge group starts to start talking about something. You can't say that you're going to start a challenge group next Monday and start talking about it tomorrow. You won't fill it up. That's just not enough time. I mean, you might get lucky, but it's not enough time. And so the very first thing that I always think about in a month is like, okay, when is my challenge group going to start? And so I'm going to share my screen with you guys and kind of just put stuff on my calendar. And then I'm going to make this pretty, and I will share the pretty version like I always do. Move your beautiful faces here. Hold on just a second. I'll share it in the team page when I'm done. But you don't have to follow mine. You guys can totally make your own too. So February is a short month by a couple days, right? We've got or I think this month is a leap year. So we've got a little, but it's still a shorter month. Valentine's Day is right smack in the middle of it. People are going to be focused on all the love and chocolate and flowers. So what does that tell me? It tells me, number one, I need to enroll people before Valentine's Day, but also I can be sharing about, self-love is a big one this month. So talking about that. After Valentine's Day, people are probably going to be super grossed out and feel all bloated and chocolate sugar overhaul. So that could be a really good time to do a free group or a 3-day refresh. So thinking through, okay, where do I want to be? I always personally start my challenge groups on the second Monday of the month because that gives me time to fill it up. So I'm talking about it this week. I'm actually talking about coaching this week, but I will be talking about it a little bit more. My prep week is going to start on the 3rd, so I can enroll people, and I will be adding people to my challenge group through probably Thursday, most likely, because it'll still give them time to have their stuff come pretty quickly, and then it will start on the 10th. So I know if my challenge group starts on the 10th, then I need to back myself out about 2 weeks, which would be till today, and I need to start talking about it the next 2 weeks. And by talking about it, that means talking about it in my stories. I'm putting there's 5 spots left. I'm sharing what they're going to expect, maybe, prepping meal plans. You can kind of do little like breadcrumbing things. So like I shared a post the other day on Instagram, I shared a cookie recipe and was basically like, hey, I'm trying this recipe out for my boot camp, but I wanted to be nice and share it with you guys too. So that wasn't an invite to my boot camp, but that was just a little breadcrumb of like, oh, Abby shares cookie recipes in your boot camp. Interesting. So figure out when your challenge group is going to start, because then you will have confidence in your invites of when you can enroll people, okay? So that's step number 1. What that also does is it's going to tailor your posts where now you know, okay, if my challenge group is starting this week, then this whole week I need to be talking about it, and I need to have a strong call to action post Sunday night probably. Need to be sharing Transformation Tuesdays for sure. I need to do a last call on the 9th. So you can actually start pre-writing your posts. You don't have to have your photos done or whatever, but you could totally pre-write those posts or recycle an old one that worked really, really well. And so you know that these 2 weeks, the focus of your Instagram stories, the focus of your posts, you're still going to focus absolutely on adding value overall, but the value that you add is going to be tailored to your challenge group. So you're not necessarily talking not as much about the business, right? Starting. So you're thinking through, okay, what is value that I can add in challenge groups? It's talking about transformations. It's talking about community. It's talking about the results they're going to get. It's shouting out my clients. If you guys don't have clients to shout out, you can shout out all of us. We all have transformations to share, or you can go into the Boss Babes page or the Dynasty page or any of the team pages that we have, and you can ask for results there. If you don't know about this, guys, if you haven't looked in a while, like in our team page here, in the albums, like there are tons of things here, like challenge group Instagram stories, transformation stories. You can just download these. Some of them are specific, like Morning Meltdown and stuff, but there's a lot of stuff in here that you can just take and use, or you can ask, and I'm happy to share anything that I create. I personally love using the Unfold app because I can save those ones and reuse them. You can do incredible Instagram stories for free in Canva. And hint, if you guys didn't see or didn't watch the how to onboard new coaches thing, well, in there is a whole bunch of amazing Instagram stories in this new coach email that you guys can use yourself. They're from my friend Rachel. She shared them because we kind of do our stuff together. And guess what? All of these ones right here. So it's in Pineapple Empire, New Coach Resources, Instagram Stories. These are all done, and all you have to do is open it up in Canva, and you just upload your own photo. It's easiest to do on your computer, but this is all done for you. And so then you can just go to File and click Make a Copy, And when you do that, it will make your own copy and you can edit, change, tweak, whatever. So there's a lot that you don't even have to take the time to create, or it's already created for you and you can tweak. So that should be helpful for you guys. And your story is the most powerful thing that you have. Your own transformation. If you're getting a lot of objections on time or on money or on anything else, like, you need to start sharing that from your perspective. So if you're a full-time working mom and people are telling you, well, I don't have time, well, that's BS, number one, because we have a 20-minute workout that gets butt-kicking results. So step number one is, like, people have 20 minutes because they just spent 20 minutes watching your Instagram stories. So we know that they do. But start sharing about it. Like, how are you fitting this into your day? Take people behind the scenes. If it's a lot of cost objections, talk about, like, I know for us, we save money when I finally learned how to stick to a meal plan and stop buying Oreos every week. Like, that saved us a lot of money, and that was really helpful. And I found that when I invested in myself and wasn't just doing random YouTube and Pinterest workouts, I showed up for myself in a different way, and there's a money back guarantee. So not being afraid to share those things. And if you need personal stories regarding certain issues, post in our team page and say, like, hey, what do you guys have on overcoming cost or overcoming time? Like, can you share some of your stories? And we're happy to do that. So you could be like, here's Abby. She's a mom of 2. Her kids never sleep. She's down however many pounds. Like, and you can share those things. So thinking through strategically, you know that the next 2 weeks you need to be talking about your challenge groups, okay? Then as I kind of plan my month out, I know, okay, my challenge group is starting on the 10th, so I'm not going to be talking about it in terms of advertising for it. I'm going to close enrollment publicly. If someone wants to jump in later, they totally can, obviously, but enrollment is closed. So now what am I talking about this week? Well, I'm going to take a break from the hard sales and I'm just going to give value. It's Valentine's Day. I'm going to talk about my husband. People love when I share our story. I'm going to talk about maybe some healthy chocolate recipes and share some of those. I'm probably going to do a free group right in here, like a free kick the sugar thing. You could also do a 3-day refresh group here, but just thinking of, like, how can I add value to people? Creating content that's shareable. So recipes, funny quotes, things like that, just giving to people. But you better believe that even though I'm not being like, click the form to enroll, this whole week, these 2 weeks where I'm sort of taking off, I am sharing wins that are going on in my challenge group. I am sharing wins from coaching. I am talking big time up, like giving those behind the scenes peeks so that people, when I open enrollment again, they are excited and they want in because they have FOMO. So just because I'm not enrolling for it doesn't mean I'm not like, I have got to shout out Katie, guys. Look at her transformation 2 weeks in. Like, this is phenomenal. I love my job. Boom. Like, I'm not inviting to it. They just are seeing these results come through. So but I'm just giving value. Then the last part of the month, I transition to talking about the business, and I talk about coaching and I run coaching sneak peeks. I'm actually talking about coaching behind the scenes all month long in different ways, but I am going to be doing like some coaching sneak peeks. And I'm actually probably going to throw a few more in here because I am very strongly focused on recruiting this month. That's a big focus for me personally. You don't have to do that, but you need to start getting brave about talking about the business. My personal goal every single month is to lock in Success Club by the 5th or the 7th, like depending on how the month is structured. I don't always do that, but it is my goal to not wait until the 28th to hit Success Club. I hit Success Club before the 10th. That is my goal. Does it always happen? No, but that is where my focus is, because then I don't feel like I spend all month stressed out on this hamster wheel trying to hit this number. And that's when the business, guys, starts to feel overwhelming. It starts to feel like a drag and it's not fun. And so you might be at that point right now where you're like, dang it, I have to hit Success Club. Like, there's 5 days left, and you start feeling that stress. So rock the end of this month and go into it with strategy and a big goal that you are going to freaking crush it. But know that if you can keep some sustainable momentum and really doing those vital behaviors every single day, it's going to take that stress away because it works. And because you are going to, since you're going to be sending invites, 3 to 5 invites a day, that is it. You don't need more than that. You can, but like just connecting with 3 to 5 new people every day for a month, when you multiply that by 30, you have talked to over 150 people, right? So you will hit those numbers earlier in the month and it will take away that stress. And so I always make sure that I lock in Success Club early so that I can transition and I can start talking about the business a little bit more, and I can start doing a little bit more to add value and not feel this anxiety of like, did I enroll my challengers for the month? So it's really important that you kind of plan ahead, think through your focus, think through your vision, because then it shapes your content. And if you take a Saturday or a Sunday and you sit down and you actually have some time to write some posts in advance or whatever, you're going to know, okay, this week is challenge group week. This week is free group week. This week is coaching week. And you can start thinking about that. And it really, really helps. So do you guys have questions on that at all? Is that helpful? I know that's like, you've probably heard it before, but I think it's just important to know how it works. Is there anything that would be helpful for you guys to know? No? Okay. Megan, you're like chopping veggies. I love it. I have my kids out there eating dinner. Sasha, were you going to say something? No? Okay. You like lean forward. So the strategy behind it is really important. And I'd encourage you guys, like I am always so happy. And I know February's Team Comp Month, so a bunch of us are teaming up and working together and running challenge groups together. I would really encourage you, if you have not run your own challenge group yet, to think about doing that soon, because it's important that your people see you as a leader. And you can totally plug into what I'm doing. I never mind it, but just making sure that your people know that you are that leader for them is really, really key. So with that said, I just want to review a little bit. I know that we talked about this a bit last week, but it's so important to think about your business strategically that I wanted to pop on here and kind of go back over some of the social media stuff that we talked about really briefly, because this is where people get stuck. Is I see you just posting the same pose every day on Instagram, or holding your shake, or things that are not engaging, and that's not appealing to anybody, right? So it's really important to start to think strategically. Now, I wanted to show you guys, so I shared in our pods the other day some really great articles on, I'm just had a total laundry moment, on Instagram. So it's talking about videos do really good on Instagram right now. Shareable and savable content does really well on Instagram right now. And I don't think I can show you guys on here my stats. Let me see. So in light of that, because I actually implement what I learn, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try something that is, I don't do a ton of quotes, but I'm going to start doing this once a week. This is a mom quote. I usually average, for me, somewhere between 50 and 100 likes on a post, and somewhere between 0 to 10 comments is pretty, like you can look at these 9 comments, 13 comments, 4 comments. One of those includes my hashtags. That was actually just 3 comments. This post right here, 832 likes and 78 comments. It reached over 22,000 people on Instagram, and I got 5 new follows from it. What that tells me is people like funny quotes, right? And they were tagging their friends. And so am I going to message all 800 of these people? Probably not, but you better believe there's a few of them that I did. And this got new eyes on me. I could see how many people, because I made my account a creator account. If you have a business account, you can actually see your stats. So this was a really good one. It related to my audience totally. And that was, so like, go find a funny quote on Pinterest, type it out in Canva so it fits your thing. And I'm going to start doing this once a week, probably on Fridays, because engagement is a little bit low on Fridays anyways. This is another one. I made this recipe. I shared an Instagram with that little slider poll. I was like, who wants to see the healthy recipe? And I knew everyone would say yes, but any opportunity for engagement is super, super important. And you guys, so this has 157 likes, and this saves. I actually said, hit that little save flag so you can come back to this for later. So I asked them to take a specific action, and I can't show you on there, but I'm looking it up right here. It has 59 people saved this recipe, which tells Instagram that the more people need to see my content. So again, it's good. I staged it. I ran a preset over it, so it has a little bit of a prettier thing. People love when my dog is in the photos, right? So I like called Huck over and made him look cute. Like I totally staged it as much as I could in like a 2-second minute. Made it look appetizing. I took one picture before they were cooked, and then I was going to take one picture after they were cooked, but they didn't look as good after they were cooked, so I kept the dough one. So I was strategic with it. But this is just adding value. But perks of my job, testing healthier chocolate chip cookies for my She Is For You bootcamp, I figured to be nice and share with you all. That is a total jab for both coaching and my challenge groups. There's not an invite attached to it. There's nothing like that, but it's just giving that little breadcrumb of like, this is part of Abby's job. She makes cookies and she gives this recipe away in her boot camps. Like, Just tell me more. So thinking through your photos, you need to have a transformation photo at least every 9, usually, if you can. I look at my insights and I see what people like to see. My house, Megan was over here earlier and commenting that it doesn't look like it does on Instagram because my house is not Instagrammable. So you will not see very many pictures of my whole house because it's dark, it's not cute. We're working on that, but I take a lot of pictures in front of my garage because the lighting is better. And I set my phone up on our truck and I set the self timer out, and that's what I do. So I'm strategic with how stuff looks and things like that. My daughter's room has really good lighting, so I do photos in there quite a bit. So you can kind of scroll through, but thinking first, how can you add value there? And knowing that your brand is you. So when you post your brand, think about what are the 5 to 7 things that make you you. Are you a mom? Are you a wife? Do you like to bake? Maybe you hate cleaning. Can you keep up with the laundry? Do you love watching TV shows? Kyla, like you guys travel and do fun stuff all the time. Sasha's a twin mom. Megan has 2 under 2. Like thinking through what makes you you. Megan's a former athlete. Like you can talk about your baller status probably a little bit more because you're a rock star. Like those things that are your niche. And obviously there's more to you than that, but those things are going to guide your post. So if I know that my brand is I'm a Jesus-loving mama and wife with a bit of a hot mess and a sweet tooth, then it's totally on brand for me to share healthy chocolate chip cookies. It's totally on brand for me to share about my kids. And I can switch these things up a little bit. It's not about what you're selling. Anyone can go sell a challenge pack and anyone can go buy these things on eBay probably, but it's the fact that you are selling it. So they're connecting with your story. They're connecting with the burdens that you're going through in your life and stuff like that. And so make sure that you are not afraid to advertise you. And we talked about this a lot last week, so I'll just kind of give this as a review. But it's really awkward to be in the photo a lot. I know that I had a hard time with this with selfies. But again, they're connecting with your brand. And Jenna Kutcher, who I love following, and just as a side note, I shared this with Katie Proctor the other day, but I think a lot of people forget I actually paid for her training. So if you don't know who Jenna Kutcher is, you should follow her and go listen to her podcast. She's phenomenal. And you can just look at her Instagram feed and see how beautiful it is and how fun. But I actually paid, guys, for her training for our team, for the Instagram training. So if you go to important links and info here, and then the Instagram lab, this is training. You can go if you have 20 minutes and you just want to listen to something on photos, on hashtags, on captions, on strategy. Like it is awesome, and it's all there for you guys to use. So take advantage of that if you feel like you need some help. But she did this experiment where she did like a month where she posted without herself in it, because she's a photographer, and then a month where she posted where she was in every photo. And the engagement on her photos went skyrocketing. And it shows that people want to connect with you. So it's not arrogant. It's not selfish. Get creative. They can't all be arm's length selfies. So think about, making sure they're bright light and eye catching. Again, my house is not that. So I go in front of my garage. I get ready. So this photo, I use it all the time. I took it last year. My makeup was done and I don't look like totally made up, but I didn't look like a disaster that day. And so I grabbed a prop because I don't ever know what to do with my hands. So I had my Energize, look happy, play around with angles, self-timers. I do all my own photos because my husband, bless him, just can't pose me ever. But thinking through, just like capturing the moment. And you can do these in advance. With this stop and read, because the truth is you could have the best caption in the world, but if your photo doesn't make someone pause, it doesn't matter what you have to post about, okay? Because they're not going to actually look at it. Creating friends and not followers. So again, this image is eye-catching. Spark conversations, ask questions, be who you are, stand on your belief. You don't have to post about political things all the time. If you want to talk to me in person, I freaking love politics. I have tons of opinions on the impeachment proceeding. I love talking about that stuff. Do you see me talk about it on social media? Not really, because I don't want to get in debates about it. But I stand on a lot of other things where people know my brand and I'm authentic. I've shared our struggles. I've shared things. Talk about what were your fears? What are your biggest excuses? What holds you back? What are you hopeful about? Where are you headed? Because those are things that your ideal client is going to connect with, because they're going to see themselves in your story. If you're someone who maybe really struggles with laziness and you're going to show up and fight through that, how are you winning that? Your kids don't sleep through the night. What are your strategies? Maybe you can't get up early right now. I was telling Megan, it's a struggle for me right now. but I'm going to do my workout later. It's not an excuse. I just am not up at 4 a.m. because I can't. So those things, connect with your story, sharing your struggles, but not in a way that leaves people feeling negative, in a way that's real and hopeful. You don't want to just be the Debbie Downer and air all your dirty laundry that you had a fight with your husband or you disciplined your kids all day, but maybe you did have a super sucky day and something turned it around, or you read something in your personal development, or it's why you're going to show up and push play so you release those endorphins and happy people don't kill their husbands. Like those things people connect with. So like writing captions, again, just to review, vulnerable story today that I hope encourages you. People are like, oh, what a vulnerable story. This post got a ton of traction, and it was just a really honest from the heart post. So telling a story, what have you learned, asking questions, giving specifics in numbers. So talking, not just in generalizations, but giving clear examples, and emotional power words like vulnerable and authentic and those things that make people like resonate. Stop selling Beachbody and start selling you, okay? Earn your right to sell. You're not here just to sell workout programs and shakes. You're here to change lives and inspire change in others by first changing yourself, right? It is your job to share your journey. So I talked about this last week, but like this was me. I had guys, like, not to be braggy, but I had like washboard abs before I got pregnant with Paisley. Like I looked really good. Like I did it. And then through 20 weeks pregnant, I still had those. And then I could not lose the baby weight, guys, for the life of me after her. This is 7 months postpartum. I was working out every day. I was eating pretty good, like probably overdoing it on the yellows, to be honest. But it was hard. And I shared that because I'm not that mom who drops all the weight breastfeeding. And also, like, if I wanted to not breastfeed and live off of salmon and broccoli, could I have dropped those 30 pounds? Heck yes, but that's not my priority, right? And so being you and telling your journey and what's important to you is super, super important. If I just shared this before and after and didn't share the story behind it, it would just be like, cool, Abby, glad you're proud of your hot bod or whatever. And no one would connect to that, but they do connect when I talk about, like, raise your hand if you're the mom who doesn't lose the weight breastfeeding and has to fight for it for 2 years straight. That is encouraging. So become a lighthouse and think about how your struggles, how your life can truly shine bright and inspire other people. Beachbody is the tool. Beachbody is an incredible system, but it's you that's doing it. It's you that's connecting with people. And so you can't rely on just Beachbody. It's how it does, how you work. So stop worrying about what people think. Be proud of you until they pay your bills, until they live in your body, until they take care of your kids. Like, they don't have a say. You can absolutely respect their opinions and totally, like I told you guys last week, I've had really hard conversations and I've had friends misunderstand and I've cried about stuff. But at the end of the day, I absolutely feel that this is a calling on my life. This has changed and made me healthier in every area of my life. And I'm constantly gut checking that of like, why am I pursuing this? Is this what I like? What's for our family? Like, I'm constantly checking myself along the way, but being honest that this is something that's only brought blessing and it's only made me a better wife, a healthier mom, a happier, more fulfilled person. So I am absolutely going to shout that from the rooftops. And if Susie from high school has a problem with that, like, that says more about her. And if someone has a bad taste in their mouth about an MLM or Beachbody because someone ruined it from someone else, like, I'm sorry they feel that way, but that's not how I run my business. And I can stand wholeheartedly behind that and boldly invite to this opportunity and boldly share about it because I know that it's changed my life. And I know that there's other Abbies out there who need to hear what I have to say. And because I was the queen of being a creeper, and I didn't even follow my coach on social media and intentionally went to her page every day for 3 months, but didn't follow her or like anything, I know that there are other people out there like me. And I know that I have to keep showing up and sharing because maybe one day they're going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to connect with me. And if I get scared or quiet or feel like no one's watching and I just stop posting, then they'll go to someone else. And I learned that the hard way too. So be bold, be excited, be strategic, take ownership of your business. Think through things critically and how you can take a better photo or write a better post or plan out your month. But at the end of the day, you can be proud of what you do and know what your vision is for why you're doing this. If you don't have a vision for where you're headed, if you don't have a purpose of why you're going to show up every day and do those vital behaviors, it's going to be really hard to keep showing up. And it'll just honestly feel like a waste of time and a frustration. But if you have a purpose behind why you're doing this and a vision for how this fits into your family's life and where you want to head, then I guarantee you, it fills your cup and it's going to keep you showing up every single day. So I just talked a lot. I know some of that was a review, but I also just felt like Paisley was losing it when I was trying to do that call last week, so I wanted to make sure that I talked about it a little bit again. With all of that being said, like, what would be helpful for you guys? Anything that you need, questions, like, where are you at with stuff? What would be helpful for you? Nothing? I covered all the bases. Okay. If no one has,
I'm just trying to get all my stuff going.
okay. What do you think?
All of it. I don't know. Posts, like content posting, which I feel like I've done okay for the last few days, and then inviting. It's the personal invites to get out.
Yeah. So how I always think about it is it all ties together. So if I'm not posting consistently about what I have to offer, I have no place to be inviting because they have no clue what I'm even inviting to. So first of all, I have to be sharing about it in some form, whether it's like a hard click this poll if you want more info whatever, every day, or just that subtle like breadcrumbing. So it all connects together. And then personally, I'm just like, if they're showing up every day and watching my stories every day, then I'm going to invite them. Like, and if I'm clear about what I do, then they shouldn't be surprised or offended when I do reach out and connect. Because the worst someone can say is no. And if they like hate me because I sent them a nicely worded invite to something that changed my life, then like, again, I don't even want to work with them because that's just like bad attitudes and I don't work with people who are grumpy. So I think just like getting over the fear and realizing that you have to connect, people have to know that you want them. And it's so funny. Sometimes a little invite goes a really long way, just that personal touch of like, hey, I was thinking about you. I don't even know if I would love to do this with you. Like, it's been amazing for me. And it would just encourage me so much to have someone like you to do this with, like complimenting them. Those kinds of things go a really, really long way too. So there was I'm trying to find an invite for you, but Sasha, what else? Like, I guess what's your biggest struggle with the invite? Well,
I think it's just invites.
It's just invites in general.
Yeah, it's just that personal invite, like, and it's reaching out to those who have been watching my stories because it's a consistent 40 people that are watching. It's always usually the same 40. So it's just reaching out to a few of those and just
totally.
It just feels weird to get out that kind of verbiage when you first start. So it's just getting out the invites and feeling comfortable.
The first invites that I sent, I remember like wanting to puke. And I remember just hitting send and like literally feeling nauseous. My stomach like so it totally does. But again, like when you're sincere about it, and I'm trying to find, I'll share it with you. I'll post in the team page. There's a really good, like, it's called the PB&J invite that I love. That's like, you slap the invite in the middle, basically. I'll share it with you. But again, it's just like, the truth is like your business won't grow without it. And the days of cold invites are over, where it's just like random spamming, like you find some girl's profile on Instagram and you're like, hey, join my team. I've never even talked to you before. Like that's over. But if it's people who are consistently coming up to you, like thank them for watching your stories. Also think about how can you get more eyes on your stories, right? So that means maybe in your post you say like, share the recipe in my stories, or you just want to think of like how you can get more, getting people to engage in your post, or things like sharing for instance, like a swimsuit, like maybe somewhere tropical, right? I'm going somewhere tropical soon. Online swimsuit shopping. I'm probably going to screenshot the free top swimsuits that I'm looking at and be like, hey guys, I can't decide which do you think, A, B, or C. That always gets tons of comments and tons of people love giving their opinion. So what I would do after that is everyone who voted, I would just shoot them a DM and say like, hey, I am so bad with decisions on this. Thank you so much for voting. Do you have any fun plans this spring or summer? Are you traveling anywhere? Not an invite, not anything awkward, but it opens up a conversation, and then maybe say yes. And I don't drag stuff on. Like I'm not a small talk kind of girl. Like it does not come natural to me. So I don't drag it on, but it's opened the door. We've gone back and forth a little bit. They've engaged on my stuff, which makes Instagram show it even more to them. And then when they keep watching my stuff in a week and I'm opening up enrollment, I can absolutely be like, hey, totally random, but I don't know if you've seen me post in my challenge group. It's been incredible. Would you like more info? That doesn't feel awkward to me. I mean, it's still scary to send it. Like, let's be real, we get nervous, but it's that kind of a conversation where it's opened up the door. So when you see me doing those polls, I didn't do one this weekend. I need to do one probably tonight or tomorrow, but like, what do you want to see more of during the week? Those kinds of things. So that's what I'm using those for, not as invites, but it's just opening up the conversation. And what I found is when I don't just jump on someone, like, unless they click, I want more info on your boot camp, and then I do. But if it's just like, share more healthy eating tips or whatever, I'm not sending out a, hey, I share healthy eating tips in my group, you want to join? It's more of like, what would you love to see? Breakfast, lunches, dinners, like, how can I serve you? Then they're more likely to keep engaging with my stuff because they trust me. And that just takes a little bit of time to build. But the very first thing that you have to get over is that mental piece of inviting. So chug some Energize. For me, Bon Jovi, It's My Life, always pumps me up. Like, that's my pump-up song, and I get hyped from it. So find your pump-up song. Go listen to a National Wake Up Call. Those, like, go search them out on the podcast or go to the Beachbody Coach 411 page and listen to one on inviting. Those always light me up, and those stories make me excited. So get in a headspace where you're excited. And then for me, especially when I was very first building my business and truly building that muscle of confidence, I just would not let myself go to bed until I sent 3 invites. It was just 3. It wasn't 20. It was 3. But I could not go to sleep until I sent 3 people an invite. And I felt like that gave me kind of that consistency piece where it started getting easier and easier and easier. So you do kind of just have to get over it, but you have to start doing it in a way that feels authentic to you. And I think that as you continue sharing your story, as you continue engaging with people, and like Sasha, I've seen a shift in your content. It's awesome now. You're truly doing that. So that opens doors for it for sure. So yeah, I know it's scary, but the other thing that I like to do too is if I need just tips or ideas, I go to the Beachbody Champions page. I don't know if you guys are in there at all, but it's full of stuff, and I will just literally search. And guess what pops up? All sorts of tips. People are sharing best practice. I mean, there's like all sorts of stuff here that's super, super helpful. So I'm just drawing a complete blank and I like need an IV infusion of inspiration or just a little way to mix it up. I will go here, post in my pod and be like, what invite are you guys sending right now? Because I'm drawing a blank and thing to check out too. So that always helps me too. Hopefully that was helpful. Anything else? I don't want to take all your guys' time tonight. Okay. Thank you for showing up. I hope that this was helpful tonight. If you need help rocking out the end of this month, I know, Sasha, you got it locked in. Megan's got it locked in. Katie's got it locked in. So proud of you guys. But truly, like, reach out to me. I will share, like I said, when I finish my calendar, I'll share it with you guys. But I just wanted you to kind of see my process of how I think before I create it. And otherwise, have an awesome Monday. And we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.